Happy Monday morning. Now, just right off, like, it's just kind of weird to just be doing this with a video. So, here goes. I am super excited about this coming week. Mention a little bit about what we're going to be doing every morning. I'm going to be putting out a video of what Jesus was doing on this last week of his life before his resurrection. So this is the first one, Monday morning. Yesterday, Steve talked about the triumphal entry, Palm Sunday, and then now every morning I'll be talking until resurrection morning. Just a few things first. Depending on who you talk to, who you look up, there can be some differences as far as what was Jesus doing on this certain day. When did he actually die? Did he die on Thursday? Did he die on Friday? When did he die? The common belief is that he died on Friday, Good Friday. I think there's some problems with that, just based on the fact of 3 days and 3 nights. And then also based on the fact that the day after Passover is always the start of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and that would be a Sabbath, and then there would be the regular Sabbath after that, and then the first day of the week. So I'm gonna be portraying it as Jesus dying on Passover on Thursday. Hopefully that doesn't mess it up too much for you. Another thing to keep in mind is that we're used to midnight. That'd be a start of our day. So the evening before is part of the previous day. But when you talk about the Jewish calendar, you're talking the evening before, when the sun sets. That is the beginning of the new day. So when you talk about the Passover day, it can be a little confusing because they had the Passover meal in the evening, but then Passover goes all the way through to the next evening. So that can be a little bit confusing, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Every morning I'll be giving an update on what's going on, so I don't think it'll be too bad. So just kind of a theme throughout this whole week is that every single day is important. It's not like just his death and just his resurrection is important. Every single day, Jesus coming into Jerusalem is incredibly symbolic of from the Old Testament, and Jesus today being examined, him teaching tomorrow, and so on. It's all important for Jesus being that lamb that was slain. So yesterday you had Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, and that would have been, on the Jewish calendar, would have been the 10th of the month of Nisan. Nisan would have been the first month of the religious calendar that God had set up when they left Egypt. They had a civil calendar, but they also had a religious calendar, and Nisan would have been the first month of the religious calendar. And on the 10th day of Nisan, when they left Egypt, when they were leaving Egypt, God commanded them on the 10th day of the month, pick a lamb that is without spot, without blemish, and then you're supposed to examine it. And then on the 14th day, which is Passover, that is the day that you're supposed to slay that lamb. And then at the time of Egypt, they were supposed to put the blood on the doorposts. So yesterday would have been the 10th of Nisan, believe it or not. When Jesus rode into Jerusalem, it was the 10th of Nisan. So when he set it up, when God set it up as being, this is the day that you pick the lamb, Jesus rides into Jerusalem, and God is saying, this here is the lamb that I have picked. Now you can go ahead and examine him, but you will find that he is without spot and he is unblemished. And so I think it's so cool. The 10th of Nisan, that is when Jesus rides into Jerusalem. It is God saying, this is the lamb. And then you have Jesus, cleansing the temple, clearing out all the temple, and then you have him coming to today. So the next few days are going to be Jesus being examined and him teaching in the temple before Passover. The next few days can get kind of blurry as far as, well, was it today or was it tomorrow? So I just broke it up. I'm going through the book of Matthew is what I'm going to be using. So I just kind of broke it up, kind of what I thought. Luke is actually the book that is in chronological order. None of the other Gospels claim to be in chronological order. only Luke does. So I kind of tried to go by different gospels, but there's differences. So, but we will get all of the material in this week. So Passover will be the 14th day, and yesterday was the 10th day. So today is, the scripture for today is Matthew 21, verse 18 through the end of chapter 23. Okay, so it's fairly lengthy. It includes a lot of the scribes and the Pharisees, the Sadducees, asking him questions. Okay, so they asked him questions because it was the examination process. It was the whole picture of the lamb was picked, and now he is examined to see if he has a spot. And through it all, Jesus answers them with amazing questions, and he proves to all of them that no, I do not have any spot or any blemish. I am that perfect lamb that will be slain for the sins of the whole world. So today, as you read through, and I'll put it on GroupMe. I'll put the scripture so you don't have to try to remember exactly what I just said. But as you go through the day, I encourage you to read a passage of scripture, and then a couple hours read the next passage. Just kind of go through your day. I want to try to go through this week at the pace that Jesus went through it. So in the morning, maybe he was talking to these certain people, or he cursed the fig tree. He was hungry. There wasn't any figs. And then throughout the day, he's interacting with the different scribes and Pharisees. So just take your time, read through it, and then tomorrow morning I'll put out a new video of the scripture for that day, and we'll just kind of work our way through the week. Super excited about what it's going to look like towards the end, especially when you get to his death and his resurrection. But just today, it's a lengthy amount of scripture. Just kind of pace yourself, go through it, and just try to put yourself in Jesus' place. Like, what was he going through with this examination today? Like, what all was he thinking and going through, thinking of what was coming ahead? So, thank you all very much, and I will see you again tomorrow morning.